Hello everyone, and how are you? I welcome you to our 8th class, if not the 9th one, of learning how to create mobile applications using Flutter. We are going to go for 60 minutes as we always do it every day. So I hope by this class you've already practiced all the previous classes that we've been covering. Otherwise, if you have not practiced the previous classes, then you'll be lost and you may not be able to understand most of things that we are talking with unless you have basics of Flutter. But in case this is your very first class and you're just here for the very first time, so all what you have to do, you have to first practice all the previous classes, whereby we give you all the basics, all the basic knowledge that you will need to reach this level. And what you have to do, you have to come to our YouTube channel, the one that we always keep our content there. So by simply coming to YouTube, and then you search Learn It with Muhindo. That's why we always keep the content of the classes that we cover. So that is the YouTube channel. So you'll have to open this YouTube channel and then click on Playlist tab. And then these videos that we always cover in this course, we always put them in a playlist. This one, the blue one, Flutter Bootcamp 2022 training. This one is why we put the videos. So you'll have to open this video, that playlist, and then you start practicing those videos. As you can see, there are so many videos that we have already covered. In fact, there are 8. So you have to begin from this first video, watch as you practice the second one, the third one, the fourth one, until you reach this 7th one. Then you can proceed with today's class. Otherwise, if you cannot do that, then you're just going to get confused. So you better begin from the zero, where we started from. We give you basics of that programming language, how to set up your environment of programming, all these things that you may need, object-oriented programming of that. So we give you all the basics that you need, and then after we begin introducing you to Flutter, then up to today's level. So if before you start even with today's class, if you're really new here, so you have to do that. Begin from here, practice until you reach the level that we are on today. So with that much said, let us go straight into business. And we say today, we can look at things that we have covered. These are things that we have literally covered. We've covered containers. So we played with anything about with almost everything about containers. We looked at texts. We looked at the row layer, we looked at the column layout, the container layout. We looked at the list view. So all these things we discussed them. We also looked at the images, how you can play with images, both from the local images as well as images from internet or network images. As you can see, they are the local images, and then these are the images from internet. So we looked at all these things, and so far at this point you should be at least somewhere in Flutter. So with that much said, let us go straight to our today's business. So today's business, we said that we're going to look at forms, input forms, and as well as state management in Flutter. So I'm going to increase here my font so you can see things clearly. I'll come to settings. I want to zoom my font. Let me make it maybe 16. At the font of the IDE, then I can also increase the font of the source code. They make it 16 also. So I think there you can see things a little bit clear. So today we're going to look at the forms. So when you create mobile applications, most of the time you'll need to collect data from users. So to collect data from users, we have different kind of data that we may need. For example, you may need to collect text data. For example, if someone wants to log in, they'll have to provide their username and password. And when someone wants to maybe create their profile, they'll have to provide their information. So this information that you collect from users, we call that data. We collect it through what? Through forms. So it can be text, can be integers, can be float, it can be even images or files. So we have different ways of how you can collect what? You can collect these forms. So one of the way that we have is collecting these forms using Flutter inbuilt way. Or you can simply come here and search for Flutter form, or you can say Flutter text input, Flutter text field. Okay, so this text field, they'll explain to you how you can do what, how you can collect the data using what, using the text field of what, of Flutter. So but for us, we are going to look at this. Of course, the inbuilt way of Flutter is a little bit hectic, collecting the information from what, from the user using Flutter. It's a little bit hectic, so it is a little bit hectic. So and the main of this course, we are going to focus, we focus only too much on what, on practicals and things that will make it simple for you. So in your time, you can come and learn how you can collect this information from what, from users. You see, this guy is we are creating here the mobile application. This is the body, and then we have here a field called what, field text input field, text field. So this text field, when you put it there, it will create for you a space where you can collect the what, the information. And then here on changed, you can collect the information that has been what, has been changed. And then here it is kind of contained, and then you submit. When someone clicks there, you'll be able to get the what, the information. That is a little bit hectic, so I'm going to look at a simpler way of how we can do that using the Flutter inbuilt what, the Flutter external package, which makes it simple. For example, when you want to edit the information, when you want to collect the date, when you want to collect things which are having like a list. So when you want to collect multiple information at the same time, so there is an external library that can help you to do that, and that's what you're going to majorly look at, so that we save time other than going to pass through the Flutter's inbuilt one, which is a little bit hectic and makes it very hard for you. So today it means that I'm also going to introduce you to Flutter external libraries. Okay, so external libraries or external packages, these are packages that are created by the community, or the Flutter community, or people, or developers of Flutter. Developers who do Flutter, and then they contribute to make Flutter programming much more simple. For example, when you want to do something like connecting to the internet, or sending information to the internet, it may be a little bit hectic, or you may need around 20 lines to send your information to what, to internet using Flutter. But you'll find that there are some developers who created a package that may simplify those 20 lines and make them to be what, to be only 2 or 3 lines. So those are the ones that you call what, Flutter packages, that are created by what, by developers. So today we're going to see how we can access these packages, and how we can add them into our project to make our work much more easier. So the first package that we're going to look at, of course, is going to be the Flatterform build package. But before we go to that, let's first explore what is meant by Flutter packages. So if you come to internet or to Google and search Flutter packages, okay, so you'll see pub.dev, pub.dev, publish@dev. So here is where you'll find a list of Flutter packages. Okay, so you can see there is that one for date format, the package for font, the package for images, the package for blog, the package for badges. There are so many packages. Okay, there are so many packages that you may need for Flutter. You see, so if I click here on Flutter apps, this is Flutter. here pub.dev, you'll find publishers who do a lot of packages or different packages for what? For Flutter. There'll be all of them, they'll be here. So if you click on view all here, you'll see a list of them. In fact, that's what I was looking for. So you see a list of so many packages. As per now, there are almost 7,000 packages, different packages that developers or people of Flutter community create to make life simple in what? In Flutter. So you see this is a HTTP package, get it? So you create, so all these packages, they have names and they have their purposes. So the package that, so today we're going to learn how we can add now such a package into our project, and so you can get started. For example, so this is a PDF package. So the Flutter, the plain Flutter may not have support of PDF, but this one is a PDF producer. For that, it can create PDF for both web or Flutter. So this one will enable you to create a PDF using a Flutter application. Assume that you want to be generating PDF using a Flutter application, so you may need to add this package. So if you click on it, you will see the documentation and how you can add it there. So if you add this package in your project, you can be able to do what? To create such a PDF using what? Using Flutter. But if you don't have this package, then you may need to figure it out, which is really hard to do such a thing by yourself from scratch. But these packages, they'll help us to do great things with simplicity. So now let us look at how we can add the form package that I'm talking about. So you will simply come to Google and search Flutter form builder package. Okay, Flutter form builder package. So this is the popular form builder package that you may find in what? You may find in Flutter. So I'll go ahead and open it. Okay, so if I open it, you see the very first one. So here they'll show you the statistics of Flutter. Can you see? Here they'll show you the number of likes that people who found it helpful and they liked it. And then here they'll show you the number of what? The number of points. So the number of points in Flutter, it means that how much satisfactory people are satisfied with this particular package. So the maximum is 130. Points cannot pass 130. So if a form scores 130, it means that it is almost perfect and it does something that everything that does what it promises. And then popularity, 99%. So almost 99% of developers, they're using what? They're using this Flatterform. So it is so much popular. It's almost 100%. Okay, so this is a best score. This is the number of likes. So it is having 130 points out of 130 points. So it is perfect, and then it is having a popularity of 99%. So if you look at some other packages, for example, if you come here to pub.dev here and look at some packages, you'll see. Right. Okay, if you come here at pub.dev and then you look at all packages, okay, so you'll see this one's having 120, this one having 110. So I want you just to get the picture, like before you add a package, you first look at its popularity. This one, it is a path provider. We use it when we are picking information from what? From the mobile phone. So it is having 100% popularity and 130. So it is the best. So that's how we can judge a package before you add it in your project. So you see this one's having 100 out of 130. So, but having 100 doesn't mean it is the worst. It means that it's not that popular, but it can be usable. So with that said, we have seen this is called Flutter Form Builder. It helps to do what? It helps you to simply manipulate your manipulate your form of Flutter. So you're going to see now how we can get started by adding this one into our project. So you can read about it, but our main point is going to be how to install it. So you can come and read. These are the examples of how you can deal with it, and these are the available classes. For example, if you want to create the checkbox, if you want to create a grouped checkbox, if you want to create chips, if you want to create a drop down, you want to create radio buttons, you want to create sliders, you want to create a text field. So all of them, they are covered in this these are the ones that are covered in this particular form. And then these are the possible attributes, so you can learn them like that. So for us now, we're going to see how we can install it. So in each form, in each particular Flutter package, it will have these tabs. It will have readme. So readme, the landing page where you can learn about that particular tab, about that particular package. Then you have the changelog. Changelog here, they will tell you how they have been changing or how they have been improving this one. So you can see this package was created in let us see. So if you go to bottom, you can see when it was really created. So this package was created in 2018. Okay, 2018 November. So they have been changing it, they have been improving it, and you can see the latest. They last improved it, they last updated it in May. So it is up to date. You can see it is up to date. They updated it just less than a month ago. That's when they updated it, and you can see what they fixed. They fixed the unchanged method. They fixed the set internal field value. Okay, so these are the things that they improved. So they keep on improving it. So here you can look at the change log. Here you can look at the example of code. So in case you want to implement a certain package in your project, so here they'll show you example of source code and how you can do it. You can implement it. So for us, we'll also come here and learn how you can do this. Okay, you can do this in our own project. So then you'll have the installing. So here installing, they'll show you how you can add this form into your project. Then here they'll have the versions, different versions that have been changing. It's almost like changelog. And then here they'll show you the scores, like how it is performing. Okay, so everything is good about this particular form. The compatibility and the rest documentation, everything is perfect. So with that said, now let's go straight to the installing and to see how we can install this one into our project. So we'll click on installing tab. Now there are two ways of how you can install it. The first way is by running this command in your project, or the second way, you can as well copy this and put it under the dependencies in your pub.yml folder, file. So we are going to look at both of them, how you can do both of them. This is the simpler one. If you already set up your Flutter properly, this is the simpler one. You just run this command, but this one's also okay. And let us first begin with this hard one. Maybe in the next package you'll use this one. So I'm going to copy this piece of line that shows me how I can add this package into my project. So I'll copy it. After copying it, I'll come to my source code, and then I'll come to my project. This is my project, the project that I've been working with. So I'm going to expand and look for the file that I want. Oh, wait. What did I open? Okay, yeah. Okay. So I'm going to come to this folder, this file. It's called pubspec. Can you see? So on top of your project, there's a file called pubspec.yml. Okay, .yaml. That's how they call it. .yaml. So if you open this pubspec, it is where we'll be adding our dependencies. So here they're saying that should come under dependencies and add this piece of line. So I'll copy it, and then I come under. I'll look for where there's dependencies. You can see these are dev dependencies. They say these dependencies. So there are two dependencies. These are the ones that you use under development. These are the ones that you use when you're creating Flutter. So they say under dependencies, I should add this line. So I'll come here and press enter. So not under SDK, but it should be on the same line as dependencies. Can you see? It should be on the same line here. You see, like one tab under dependencies. So if you put it here, like here where this line of SDK is, then it means that it will not work. There it will not work. So it have to be immediately one tab on the same line, in fact, with this Flutter thing as a dependency. Can you see? I hope you've understood that. That is very important. Otherwise, even if you just do like one line behind like this, it will not work. So I'll press just only one tab like this, that should be on the same line. The tab key should be on the same line immediately under, on the same line with Flutter. So it should be immediately under dependencies like this. Otherwise, if you put two line, oh no, we have two dependencies. These are dependencies. It should be here, okay, under this one. So it should be one line like this. Okay, so if you put it in a wrong one, then it will not work, my friend. Okay, so it should be on the same straight line like this one, just by one tab. So after doing that, then we have to install these dependencies. After adding that in our YAML file, you have to install it now. So to install it, you need to be connected to internet. Okay, you need to be connected to internet. So you click on this YAML file, and then you see these pieces of command here, pubget. Okay, so you click on pubget. Okay, this means that you should get the publishers to install the what? The dependencies. You can as well come here to tools and then come to Flutter. You'll see pubget is also here. So let's go ahead and run this pubget. So this pubget is going to install this extra dependency in our what? In our project. And you need to be connected to to internet for you to do this. So you see, it took 3 seconds to install, and it has been installed in our project successfully. So that is great. It means that we now have this form builder in our project. So that's how you can install any kind of package into your project. Now let us go ahead and see how we can do an example of collecting data from form using these packages. So to do that, we're going to come to our project here. To our project and create you see, this is the project. So we're going to create another input here, that in case we click on it, it will take us to a special page of what? Of Flutter. Of demonstrating the form field. Okay, let us do that. So I can I'll come here to my library and then come to screens. So I'm going to look for this main screen, which is here. I think this main screen, you can see we last looked at images. So I'll collapse it, and then I'm going to duplicate this one and add one more tile here. Okay, so if you've been following, you understand what we're talking about right now. So I'm going to duplicate this one. Okay, so I'll duplicate it, and then I'm going to call this one form. Can call it form builder or form management or form whatever. So if I save, you should refresh, and you can see we have here one extra thing called form. So we're going to create another screen that we're going to use to elaborate forms. Like in case we click on this form, we should see now where we can elaborate these forms from. So these are the screen that we are having. So I'm going to create another sorry about that. So I'm going to create another screen by simply coming to our project and then come to screens, and then you see this was you see these are the screen that we've been using. So I'm going to duplicate maybe one of this one. Okay, let me look at which screen may be helpful to us. Maybe this one or at least. Okay, anyone. So I'm going to duplicate one of them and then use it to elaborate the forms. So I'll just simply press function and F5. Okay, function and F5. So here I'm going to change it to what? Maybe screen form. Okay, or can say forms. Okay, and then I come and change this name from this class and call it screen form. So I can come and change this title. I can say maybe forms. Okay, so it means that we're going to use this one to elaborate forms. So we have to open this screen when someone clicks on this tab. So I'll come to our main tab, this one, and I can collapse here. So I'm going to put here, when someone clicks on this tab, it should open the new class that we just created, the screen, which is now okay. So let us save, Ctrl S, and then click on form. Sorry, you see forms. Can you see? You have forms, and you have my widgets here. Okay, so it means that we have successfully created this class. So after doing that, let's go ahead and see now how we can do the example of this form. So we'll come back to our package and read the documentation. Of course, you're not the one who created these things, so if you don't know them for the first time, you have to sit down and do what? And read. So I'll scroll, and then we see how we can create a form. So let us go through this step by step. The first thing, it is a stateful widget. It's a stateful widget. So I'm going to introduce also to another thing called stateful widget. Okay, stateful widget. So before we were just dealing with static things, we were dealing with it's stateful screen. So before we were dealing with just static things where we do not have things that may need to change, but right now we need information that's going to be dynamic, or something that's going to change. So I mean that this widget that we have, we're going to change it into what? Into stateful widget. Stateless, it means that it will not change anything. Okay, it will not change. So everything that will be there from the beginning is the one that will be there up to the end. But stateful widget, in case you want to change something and update the user interface, in case you want to show something and update the user interface, then you may need you will need a stateful widget. So there are the two types of widgets that we have. So from the start, we've been working with with stateless widgets. But right now I want to see, like, if I change something, I want to see the results. So there you'll need what you call a stateful widget. So once you have stateless widgets like this one, it is very simple to convert it into a stateful widget. So to convert it to a stateful widget, just click on this stateless widget like this, or any class in this line, and then you'll see a bulb here. So this bulb once you click there and click on this bulb, it will show you the possible things that you can perform there. Among the things that you can perform, we have convert to stateful widget. So if you click there, as simple as that, they will convert for you this stateless widget into a stateful widget. Just stateless widget is if your class will extend a stateful widget, and then it will implement the state of your project. So they've just separated it into two, whereby this is going to be the state, and then it's going to be the stateful widget of your project. Let me repeat it how I've done it. So this is our simple stateless widget. Just simply click here and then say convert to stateful. They'll convert it for you. As simple as that. So it means that this now is a stateful widget that can update anything in the screen. If you click there again, click on I think you cannot change it back to stateless, because they have separated it into two. So unless you press the undo. So it is now having the state. You see, it is now extending the state, and it's the stateful widget. So it means that now our form can change dynamically at any time, this particular file. Okay, so with that much said, now let us see how we can do what? We can collect information from the form. So, but before we collect the information from the form, let me first show you a few things that you may need to do. Okay, so I'm going to create here I'm going to create here, you see this is our body, so I'm going to remove this body that was there before. So I'll remove this body, and maybe I'm going to put a column. Okay, and then this column, of course, will have children, if you still remember. And then these children, I'm just going to put text. And then maybe in this text, I'm going to put something like change, or I can say maybe increase. Okay, so if I save there, you see I have this word called increase. Let me surround it with padding, so I can click there and then click on here, and then you see the padding will be here. So if I surround it with padding, I can save. You see it is now having the padding of all of 18. So maybe I can change maybe to 15. So it is having, it is there now. Change 20 maybe. Okay, increase. So that's our increase. So I'm going to put here also another thing. I'm going to duplicate it and then paste here. So if I change here, you see I have increase and then I have the value. So after doing that, now what you're going to do, you're going to put here a number that you want to be increasing. Okay, so it means that you have to declare a certain variable that you want to be changing or to be increasing. So I want to show you how you can dynamically change information in your project. So I'm going to create here an integer, and I call it my num, or age equals maybe 10. So at beginning, you see I've just created just a simple integer. There's no magic here, and I've called it what? I've called it 10. So at beginning, this age is 10. So I'm going to substitute this age here so that it should be displayed on the screen. So I can simply come and say I am. Then do you still remember how we substitute something in Flutter? $, and then the curly brackets. Okay, years old. So if I save there, you can see I am 10 years old. It is there. Now after doing that, let me increase the font size so you can see things clearly. So how do you increase the size? Size, style, text, style, and then font size maybe 30. Okay, just do the same to this one. Okay, so we have here I am 10 years old, and then you have the increase button here. So I want when someone will be clicking on this increase, I want to be updating this one, to be changing, to be adding there one. Okay, so to do that, I'm going to create a function that we will be calling to increase this guy. So I'll just simply come and create this function here. Okay, so it's going to be just in Flutter, may not even specify that it's going to be a function what and what. You can just call it my age increase. Okay, it's going to be a function like this. Okay, so this is just a simple function. You see how I've defined it. So I want when someone will be clicking on this plus, this function should be called, and the task of this function will be just to add one. Okay, so you can say age plus plus. You still remember. So if I click on, if I want to be adding one on this particular age, so it should be age plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 like this. Okay, so after doing that, now I'm going to attach this function on this increase button that we created, so that if someone click here, this function should be called. So how will I do that? I'll just simply come to this increase function, which is surrounded by padding, and I'm going to surround there a click listener. Okay, so to surround the click listener in Flutter, we have something called inkwell. Okay, inkwell. So you just write inkwell like this. I don't know why they named it like that. And then it will have a single child. Okay, so that child, it is where you can put now your particular thing that you want to surround with the click listener. So you see I'm putting child of this padding, I'm putting it as a child of this inkwell. Then this inkwell will have one more method which is going to call on tap. Okay, it's called on tap. So on tap, it is where we'll be calling now this function. Okay, but you don't call it directly. What you do, you open bracket, and then you open equal sign, and then the greater than sign, and then open the curly bracket like this. So between this curly bracket, it is where you put a function that you want to be calling when someone clicks on this child of this of this inkwell. So we want to put now here this function of increasing. So when someone clicks on this increase, the function of my age increase should be called. So I'll come and put it here, and then like this, and then we put a semicolon. I mean, you don't need a tag, I mean a semicolon. Then save. So it means that every time someone will be clicking here on this inkwell, on this You see how I've surrounded it. Okay, inkwell, it is having a child, and this child is just a padding, and then it's having a function on top, and then this on top is calling my edge increase. And you should do it like this. Otherwise, if you don't do like this, then your app will crash, because it will be calling this one automatically. So let me be printing something once the edge will be changing. Okay, edge now is, let me print this edge in the console. Okay, edge now is edge here. Can you see? So let's go ahead and run. So when we'll be clicking here, it will be calling this one. So I'll open this console here, and then I'll clean the tab, and then now we see when I click on can you see when I'm clicking here, can you see the edge is increasing? See, when I click, you can see edge now is 15. When I click, edge now is 16. When I click, edge now is 17. So I can increase the edge. Can you see? I can increase the edge. So I mean that everything is beautiful and the edge is increasing. But there is a problem. Our edge in the screen is not what? Is not updating. We would like when the edge increases, the screen should also update. So if you want to achieve that, that's how we need now the state and the stateful widget, or the stateful widget. So the edge is really increasing, but it's not reflecting on what? On the screen. So if you want to update the screen of a variable, because see, you are using the same edge. So if you want to update the screen of a variable that is already displayed somewhere in the screen, that's when you call the what? You need to update the state. So here it is increasing, but you're not updating the state. So if you want to update something in the state, in the screen, you have to call this function that's going to update the state. You call it set state like this, just like the way it is here. Some people always put, for example, the logic, they put it around this, or you can as well do the logic and then you call this set state here. So this set state method, you can as well remove everything there, just call it like this here. No, it can't, not allowed. Okay, so you can call it like this. So this set state method, it's responsible is to update the screen of a stateful widget. So it means that now when the edge will be increasing, it will be reflecting in the screen. So if I save, now can you see? It is now 45. Now if I click here, can you see? 46, 48, 49, 50, like this. Okay, you see, it's beautiful. So let us create another function. Maybe the function will be reducing. So this is called my edge increase. I can as well create another function, and I can call it my edge decrease, like the way how female do it. Females do it, decrease the edge. So it's going to be edge minus minus, and then I don't forget to do what? To set the state, to update the state. Otherwise, if you forget to call this function, the state will not change. So I'm going to create another method. I'm going just to copy this inkwell, okay, this one, and then I'm going to put it here in the bottom here, this widget. Oh, I've copied it badly. I think it starts here, the inkwell thing, this one, and then I come here after padding and I paste it here. Okay, and I call it decrease. Okay, so in this decrease, I'll be calling this method that I just created that has minus minus. Okay, so I'll put it here. So this one, its task is to decrease. Let me change maybe the color for them, so it can be a little bit different. Okay, and then maybe this increase, and call it maybe green. Shade 800. So you see, this one, its task is to increase, and this one is decreasing. Okay, So you see, it is reducing. This one is increasing. So if you can do something like this, then it means that you've understood now the meaning of what? Of state and stateless. So with stateless widget, you may not be able to do something like this. But with stateful widget, you are able to do something like this. So you have to practice, not just watch, but you have to practice. So with that much said, let us go ahead and now create our form. I don't know how I'm going to do with this code that you may want to look at again. Now let us go ahead and see how we can create now the form after understanding what is meant by state, how to update the state, and how to change something in the screen. So let us see how we can create the form. So to create a form, you can come here. So they will tell you that you'll need something called what? A form key. Let us see. So this is the application beginning from here, and then we have okay, I'll just go straight into the project. So the first thing that you need what to call a form key. This one, So you'll have to create a form key, and you'll use this form key to collect the data from your screen. So let me go ahead and comment these things that we have done. So when I'll push the source code, you can uncomment and see what I was doing. So I'm going to collapse this whole column. Okay, this one, and then comment them. So if you access this code from GitHub, you'll be able to look at what I was doing. This one. So I'm going to comment them. So I've commented them there. So if I save, there's nothing there. So now we are going to see. So the first thing, you have to create what you call a form key. This one here. So to create that form key, you just simply come to your project. Okay, you can see here this form key was created inside the state. So I'll come here where there is a state of this state, and then in bottom I'll have to get this form key. That's the step number 1. So this form key, its work is to be able to manage your form. Okay, it's just final form key equals global key, and then you pass this form key builder state. So if it's not there, just press Alt and enter. Okay, and then they'll show you the possibility of importing. Or you just simply click on that red line, and then you'll see a red bulb, and then they'll give you a possibility of importing. Or you just rub one letter and then add it back, you'll see the possibility of importing. So all those are the ways. So let me see that it is bring red color. Just click there and click on this red bulb, import. So it has been imported. So it means that we successfully installed everything and everything is okay. So after doing that, now we're going to build the real form. So the first thing that we're going to create, how do you create this form? So to create this form, we just simply put it. You see here, there is a padding, a scaffold, and there is padding there, and then there is single scroll view. So in case you want to scroll something, you may need this single scroll view. So we're going to surround this single scroll view in our with our form. With our list view. So, but it is optional. It is optional. This single scroll child view, it helps you to be able to scroll something like a column. So let's come here to our columns. So let me show you one technique that you may need to know. So here in this column, you can simply click on this column and then click on this yellow bulb. So since this one is just going to have a child, so it is something that's like a container, because the container also has a single child. So I'll just simply come here and then click on this yellow bulb and then say maybe container. So they are going to surround here a container with the column that I have. So for me, instead of leaving the container, I can now change it to single scroll view. So it means that I'll have now a column that will be scrollable. Okay, so I can save, and I hope everything is okay. So it means that I'll have a column that is scrollable. So after doing that, I will have a column, and then after having a column, of course our column will have children, and then this children is now going to have what we call the form builder. So the form builder is like the way you know HTML. Let me show you, like give you an example of a form. Registration form. Can you see? So let me come here to images. Let me give you, for example, this one. Can you look at this image? I want to show you what I'm meaning. So I'm not saying open image in the tab. So can you see? So this is a one instance of a what? Of a form. It is having first name, last name, email, phone number, password, these things. So all these ones you want to be to put them together so that when someone clicks on submit, you should be able to collect everything from this particular form. Likewise to this one, it is having all this information. So when someone will click on register, you want to collect everything here, or you want to be able to manipulate all these forms as a single form. So that's what here we are also doing. So if you want to surround everything that is here within one instance, so you have to surround it with what we call the form builder widget. This one, the form builder widget. Okay, so you're going to surround. So once you surround a form builder widget, then inside that form builder widget, it is where you can now put the children, or you can put these elements as your elements of that particular form. So how do we do it? So I'm just going to copy this form builder widget. You can as well write it. Okay, form builder widget. So it should be 1. So I'll come into the children of this column and put form builder widget. Just write it, form builder, like this. Okay, so you can see it is taking what? It is taking a child, only one child. Okay, so this child, it can be of course another column or a column. So I think this column is even useless, this one, but okay, no problem. So inside here now, you're going to have multiple what? You're going to have now multiple elements. So you need a column inside there as a child. So I'm going to give here the child, I'm going to give it as a column. So I'll come here and say column. Okay, so a column will have what? Will have also children. So these elements, these one, like this first name, last name, what and what, are the ones that are going to be inside this column. But the point is, everything that we're going to put in this form is going to be surrounded by this form builder. Can you see? It's going to be surrounded by this form builder. So I hope you get the point. Now this form builder, you have now to link it with a key that will manage you to manipulate it. And remember, we already created that key, which is here. Can you see? It is here. So how do you link it? You can see here. You just simply, among the attributes that you specify, you see, among the attributes that you specify a key. Can you see? You specify a key. So let's go ahead and specify that key. So we'll just simply come here and give that key. Sorry, what is it? So you have to defining this key. So we'll come now to this form builder and then add key attribute, and then you specify this key. So it means that now this key, you can be able to use it to manage the what? The whole form. Okay. So after doing that, now let us go ahead and start putting now our elements. For example, first name and last name, if that's what we want to collect from the user. So to do that, you'll have to come and look for the field. So here there are so many fields that may need to do with the dates and the rest. So, but if you want to look at this field, you can just come here to readme. They have these fields already there. So you see, all of them, they're already implemented. So, and the field's name, they're almost sounding like what they do. So you can see they have a field of checkbox. We have a field of checkbox. We have choice, date. We don't need date. We have date and time picker. We have the drop down. We have the filter. We have the radio group. We have the range picker, orange slider. Then we have the form builder slider. We have the switcher, and then we have the form build text field. So this one, the one that we want. So if you search it, you'll see they're already implementing it here as the first field. Can you see? Form text field. So I can either copy it or we can build it together from the other side. So let's go ahead and build it from the other side together. So I'll just simply come here and put form text field like this. So when you put form text field, so the first thing that must be there, the first thing that must be in every form text field is a what? Is a name. So why do you need a name? Because you will use a name to access this particular value. For example, you see this form, this must have a unique name for you to be able to access it as a first name. This one must also have a unique name for you to be able to access it, even email and everything. So every field here must have a unique name. So likewise here to these forms, every field that you put must have a unique name. So here in the name, we're going to just put a string and surround it maybe with the first underscore name.